In this lesson, I'm going to talk about the events that are available on forms to have event procedures. Now, I will be expanding on something I mentioned earlier in the course. I went over 3 basic events when a form first starts and 3 basic events when a form ends. But there's a lot more events on a form. I'm not going to take the time to describe all of them, just kind of the basic ones that are used so you understand what happens with them. In a previous lesson, I already discussed the 3 events in order that occur when a form first opens. It starts with the open event, which just draws the form. Then the load event, which puts the data values into the form and its objects. And then the activate event, which causes the very first field to get the focus in terms of that's where the cursor appears and the users can start interacting with the form. I also went over the events in order that happen when you close a form. It first deactivates, then it unloads, then it closes. There's a few other events that are used quite often in access code. One is the current event. What the current event is saying is whenever we have a new record that we're looking at, and not new like a new record being added to the table, but we move from a record to another record. Every time we access a record in the record source, be it a table or query of the form, causes the current event to trigger. All right? If we delete a record, the delete event occurs. If we made changes and then decide not to save them, we're undoing. That causes an event to occur. If some kind of error occurs on the form, the error event happens. What's neat with that is you can actually write your own error checking routine and have message boxes appear with more specific information than what Access provides by default to help you diagnose what the error is. Now you'll notice if there is an event procedure already written for that, the event procedure note is here. See, if we go to the code window, there is a load event for that form, and that's the only one that's there. If we were to add an event, we could go back to the property sheet here, click on a particular event, say the error event here, click on this button, say I want to build code, click the OK button, and that would cause the error event procedure to be created here in the code window. Now, there's another way to do it. Notice we've got these 2 windows up here that are selection windows. All right. If you go to the one to the right, it shows all the events for the particular object that we're currently looking at. Right now we're looking at the form, so we see all the events on our form. So we can also select from here, say open. And when we click on that, it will create the skeleton for the open event procedure. So that's 2 ways that we can set up event procedures for the form. If you're doing multiple event procedures, it's advisable to stay in the code window rather than flipping back and forth, and therefore adding them through the upper right selection window.